Hello Aries, thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using Witch's Tarot by Ellen Dugan, illustrated by Mark Evans. There's both those names again at the bottom, along with the Llewellyn.com website. If you're interested, feel free to freeze frame if you need to, of course. Supportive Oracle cards, Chakra Wisdom Oracle cards by Tori Hartman, illustrated by Gretchen Reisch-Baskin. Websites are torihartman.com, watkinspublishing.co.uk, or watkinspublishing.com. Feel free to, of course, freeze frame and check out whatever you need to there as well. Okay, where's this going? Where is this going? It's spaced out a bit. Is this like long? Oh, an upside down card. Which is not bad. Upside down does not mean bad, but it just shocks me. Like, usually when I see an upside down card, there's like a point that needs to be making, like we're highlighting something. Somehow I ended up putting that one in upside down, but who knows how, but we'll read it the way it is. Do you like this? What? Okay, before we go too far, I think you normally have a good connection with whoever this is. Let's just double check that. Knight of Cups and the Hierophant. But the Hierophant's upside down, which makes me feel like I do like this person, but I'm not looking to take care of them. You're willing to look out for them, especially if they're looking out for you in return. But you're not looking to like tie their shoes for them every morning, if you follow me on that. Like, I'm not tying your shoes every morning. You're going to need to make your own lunch. I'll give you a ride where you need to go, but I'm not going to baby you. I'm not going to do that. So I almost feel like for some of you this might be like a sibling thing, kind of like, all right, you need a little extra help. I'll help you with some things, but you need to be more self-sufficient. Like, tie your own shoes, make your own lunch, get yourself together, make sure you get done what you need to get done. I'll get you where you need to go. You know, I'll help you find resources if you need that, but I'm not doing that stuff for you. I'm not tying your shoes. I'm not making your lunch. I'm not doing that stuff. But you do seem to kind of like offer help. Like, if you don't know how to make lunch, I'll teach you how to make it. I won't make it for you. While I'm making mine, you can copy what I do and you can make yours at the same time. We'll do that. So I'll show you how to do it. Stuff like that. I feel like you'll do that. I'll teach them how to help themselves, but I'm not going to do that for them. They do seem to maybe they're used to people doing that for them. It doesn't have to be a sibling, by the way. Could be a romantic relationship, could be a work relationship. It's a person, though. For most, I feel like it's a person for most of you. I'd be surprised if it was situational, but if it is, let me know below how that worked out for you. It's not bad. Maybe they're expecting more than you're actually... Somebody here is not self-sufficient. They're not. This is the card that came in upside down. I think it's the only one. They're not, but I feel like it's... You're going to easily agree with this. They need to be. They're not, but they need to be. The Aries energy I'm familiar with is kind of like, oh yeah, they definitely need to be. The more they can do for themselves, the better. And for some of you, I feel like you're looking at this like maybe they can't do everything for themselves, and there's certain things they just cannot do, but they're not doing as much as they could be doing, as much as they need to be doing. So there's more here that they can do. It's kind of like, and what they can do, they need to do. So how do if I'm going to I'm going to try to be fair with this. So say we're dealing with a 12-year-old. You're not going to pick up after them hand and foot. Nope, they need to be picking up after themselves. Maybe, they can't make certain things in the oven and stove. That's okay, but they can help prepare things. Maybe you're kind of like, I'm not really confident that they should be using sharp knives, but they can get stuff out of the dishwasher and put that away. They can help gather the ingredients I need. They can set the table. They can even probably wash most of the dishes. Stuff like that. Like, there's more that they can do that they need to do. they're not completely helpless. They're not completely, they can't do everything. You know, I'm not going to send them out to get in the car and go get me some groceries. I'm not going to do that. But maybe I would take them to the grocery store with me and kind of like, all right, see these things on the list? You go get those things. I'm going to get these things. You know what I like. You know what we're going to buy. So get those things. I'll get these things. Meet back here. You know, take this little basket thing, fill it up there, bring it back. Stuff like that. You know, if it gets too heavy, just bring it back and put it in the big cart. We'll do it that way. So I feel like that makes sense. I don't think we need to go on any farther than that. But the problem is they seem to neglect things and expect people to pick up the slack for them. Do they not know you very well? I don't. Okay, maybe they don't know you very well yet. That I'm like, that makes me nervous. Like, oh, don't mess with Aries like that. Do yourself a favor. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that to an Aries. Because if they're expecting you to pick up the slack, it depends what it is. Aries would be the one kind of like, oh, they're not going to do what I want. So it's like if we're talking about dinner, they're not doing their part for dinner. So it's kind of like, oh, I'm going to see what don't they like that I do, and that's what we're going to have for dinner. They're not like, if I want them to choose or help do this and do that, and they're not going to help. Oh, it's going to go my way, and I'm going to do my best to make sure when it goes my way, it's as unpleasant for them as I can do without it being abusive. It's kind of like if you like liver and onions. I don't, but if say you did, and you're like, this person just can't stand it, well, they should have helped, because if they were helping, we wouldn't be having liver and onions. But since I like it and they don't, but it still meets the requirement for having dinner on the table, that's what we're having. So, bon appetit. What did that? I don't know. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Don't do that, dude. Like, don't mess with Aries. It's not gonna go well for you. That's one of those signs where Aries has no problem, you know, helping out with the lesson there. Kind of like, oh, you thought that was gonna go your way? Strategy in Aries. Strategy in Aries. Aries can be very strategic, especially if you're looking to make a point. Kind of like, I would yell about it, but I don't want to. So instead, I'm going to have a little fun with it, and I'm just going to teach this lesson in a different way. Maybe they're used to the yelling. Maybe they're used to getting yelled at. Maybe you just don't want to. It's kind of like, well, we'll play it out this way. I bet you they remember it now. Because I see whatever you're doing, I feel like when they play this game with you, you're kind of like, oh, I don't know what they're thinking. I feel like you get the tower card, like, oh, they're gonna play that with me. They're just gonna skip out on their side of their responsibilities, and I'm just gonna pick it up because they feel like I have to. Okay, I'll pick it up, and I'll make it really worth my while. I'll make sure you're gonna remember that you don't want me to pick it up. So, okay, let's play. You get the tower card in the sense of like, oh, they thought. Like, the fact that they're doing that, I feel like that shocks you. Like, oh, they thought they were going to play me like that. Okay. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do that. I get a feeling of satisfaction here. In the sense of, like... Okay, so you're not an Aquarius, you're an Aries. But the reason I'm saying this is the star card talks about Aquarius. And it's really bringing forth, like, Aquarius has no problem messing with people when they just want to. When they want to, they do. So I feel like you're messing with somebody, and you're like, I'm not going to pitch a fit about it. I'm just going to make you remember that you don't want me to pick up the slack for you. Because if I pick it up, I'll make sure that you realize that was not fun for you. Fun for me all day, all night, but not going to be fun for you. And I feel like after you do what you need to do, it's a very smart, strategic move. Sometimes people, I'm not saying you have to do anything. So if this reading hits or doesn't, like, it's cool. If you don't like it, don't do it. That's all. But I'm getting some people do learn through like stuff like this more than like somebody's yelling at them, like, you know, do your, like, it's kind of like, you know, clean your room, and then they don't clean the room, and like, you just, it's all right, you don't want to clean your room, I'm just going to clear it out and just leave the essentials. So there's a mattress with one sheet, one pillow, and one blanket, and everything else I took out, and I'm not going to tell you where it is. So maybe that it's kind of like the frustration of everything it's got. I'm not saying throw it out, but maybe you put it in the attic and you put it all away in certain boxes and like, okay, you didn't want to clean your room, so I did my way. Not so much to deal with now, so if I have to be the one cleaning it up, it's very simple to clean it up now. So if you want something, I guess you got to go find it. And if you want your room to back to be where it was, I guess you're going to have to put it back together. And if you make me do that again, maybe I'll hide it a little bit better next time. So keep that in mind. Like I feel like you're making a point because I feel like that's kind of like shocking somebody. Like, oh, I didn't want that to happen. Well, I guess you learn the hard way. If you don't do it the way you're supposed to and you make me do it for you or you think you're going to make me do it for you, I'll make sure you don't like that. I feel like that's a very poignant lesson. People seem to not forget when you do things like that. You're very happy with your outcome because I feel like message received, lesson learned. Don't mess with the Aries. Do yourself a favor. You're understood. You're understood when this all sorts out. Do they like it? Oh, well, obviously not. I feel like that's obvious, but do they adhere to the new rules or what? I mean, are they even new rules? Just to be fair, are they even new? But anyway, I'm getting like they're more self-sufficient after this. They're kind of befuddled with it. I feel like they're trying to find a loophole, but I also feel like they won't find a loophole. Like they're trying to find a loophole to get around this so you can't do this to them again, for example. But then I feel like fairly soon they realize, well, maybe I could find a way for Aries not to do this same thing to me again. But do I really want to inspire Aries to find a different way to mess with me? Probably not. Probably not, because Aries can be quite creative, especially when you tick Aries off. So maybe it's just better to not tick off Aries. Well, that's a novel idea. Just don't tick Aries off. How nice life goes then. Not for nothing. They're going to do better. This is a good life lesson for whoever this is. I don't feel you're going to be cruel. I just feel like you're going to make a point. I don't know. I like, especially with that room analogy, like, oh, okay, they don't want to clean up their room. I'll clean it up. I'll put it all away. I'll clean it, I'll wash it, and I'll put it in totes or whatever, and I'll hide it in the attic in different places. I'll know where it is, but they're going to have to go through the whole attic to figure it out. And if they make a mess, they're going to be grounded. So, so like they have to, if they're going to look through things, they have to look through it. They have to find what they need. It's like, I'll make that a lot more work. It would have been a lot easier for them if they just did what I asked them. They have to go on the scavenger hunt to find all their stuff. Well, hey, then that's how it has to be. I hope you realize if you just did it the way you were supposed to, it would have been like a 1-hour job. But now that you had to do it this way and you had to drive me nuts, I did this. I made this little scavenger hunt. Now it takes you 5 days to find your whole room. Hope it was worth it for you. They do learn. There's healing. There's realizing, just do it the way you're supposed to begin with, and it won't have to be an issue. They don't like it, but they'll realize, they'll find a better way to do things. I get creativity, but I'm getting they'll find a better way to do things. It's good. I feel it's good. All right, I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thank you again for watching, and have a great day.